If someone had told me that at 63 years old, the people who would hurt me the most wouldn't be strangers, but my own family, I would have laughed. But on that Sunday afternoon, when my granddaughter's tiny palm struck my cheek and my son chuckled like it was a joke, I felt something inside me snap. Not in anger. In clarity. I finally understood that I had raised a son who didn't value me, married a daughter-in-law who despised me, and allowed myself to shrink for the sake of keeping the peace. But that day, I stopped shrinking. And the revenge that followed, well, let's just say they never expected the quiet old woman in the floral cardigan to flip their entire world upside down. My name is Jennifer, I'm 63, and this story isn't about bitterness. It's about awakening. It's about how humiliation can become the spark that lights a fire strong enough to melt every chain you've carried. And it all began with a slap. A tiny hand. A tiny sound. But an impact loud enough to rewrite my entire life. That Sunday evening, I went to my son Mark's house like I always did. I had cooked biryani, carried 3 bags of groceries, and brought a small gift for my granddaughter, Alicia. She was 4, full of energy, and usually sweet. But lately, she had begun copying her mother's tone, rolling her eyes at me, ignoring me. Children don't become cruel on their own. I walked in through the door and greeted them all. Alicia ran up to me, not with excitement, but with irritation. Move. She shouted. Before I could even react, her tiny hand smacked my cheek. Not too hard. But hard enough. Hard enough to hurt my heart more than my face. I stared at Mark, expecting him to correct her. But he laughed. Actually laughed. She's only playing, Mom. Don't be dramatic. And then she came, the queen of coldness, my daughter-in-law, Sana. She crossed her arms, eyes full of disdain. If you're going to get emotional over everything, she sneered, just go, just go. 2 small words, but heavy enough to crush the last of my illusions. I stood silent for a moment. Frozen. Humiliated. My son watched me with indifference. My granddaughter had already run off. My daughter-in-law smirked. And something inside me, something old, something tired, broke. But another part of me, something fierce, something long buried, woke up. I left without a word. And on the entire walk home, the same questions kept circling my mind. When did they begin treating me like a burden? When did I allow disrespect to become normal? Why did I give everything but receive nothing? By the time I reached my living room, I already knew the answer. Because I made myself too available. Too forgiving. Too soft. But that softness ended that night. I stayed awake until dawn, staring at the dusty file inside my cupboard, the one containing documents no one knew about. A house. A savings account. Fixed deposits. A pension plan. Everything I had built after my husband died. Everything I had planned to leave for my loving son and his family. But now? Now I was rethinking my entire future. The next morning, I did something I had never done before. I didn't text Mark. I didn't call. I didn't visit. I didn't send food. I didn't pick up their groceries that I didn't babysit. 3 days passed. 5. 7. On the 9th day, Mark finally called. Mom, where have you been? Alicia misses you. Misses me? The same child who slapped me while everyone laughed, I replied calmly. I've been busy. He sounded offended. As if he were the victim. Well, Sana wants to know if you're coming tomorrow. She needs to go shopping. So you need free babysitting. He stayed quiet. I continued, no. I won't be coming. Why? His voice sharpened. Because I said so. The silence on the phone was delicious. For the first time in 35 years that I was not explaining myself. 2 weeks later, I took the second step. I went to the bank and removed Mark as the beneficiary of my accounts. I called my lawyer and had my will rewritten. I transferred my house into the name of someone else entirely, someone who had treated me with more kindness than my own blood. My niece, Sarah, a hard-working girl who had supported me quietly for years. Not once did she demand anything from me. Not once did she mock me. Not once did she call me only when she needed help. I also drafted a legal document stating, no family member may claim financial responsibility, inheritance, or assets without express written permission. My lawyer raised an eyebrow. Are you sure, Jennifer? I smiled, never been more sure. After a month of no visits, Sanaa finally cracked. She called me herself, something she never did unless she needed something. Jennifer, Alicia keeps asking about you, is that so? Yes. She hesitated. And we could use some help. Things have been hectic. By help, she meant free childcare, groceries, my pension, and emotional labor. I'm sorry, I said, I'm resting these days. There was a long pause. And then she said the word she had been avoiding, are you upset about that day? No, I lied, I'm done being upset. But you're acting distant, I'm just following your advice. My advice? I repeated her words softly, slowly, letting them hit her, if you're going to get emotional. Just go. So I went. She went silent. Then she hung up. 2 more weeks passed. The mask fell entirely. Mark showed up at my door unexpectedly. He looked tired. Worried. A little desperate. Mom, why are you avoiding us? Sanaa is stressed. Alicia keeps having tantrums. We need you. There it was. The truth. Not love. Not regret. Not concern. Need. I gestured for him to sit. I avoided you because you disrespected me. He scoffed, Mom, she's a kid. Kids hit people sometimes, and adults laugh at their mothers being hit. He flinched. You're overreacting and you're underreacting, I said. He tightened his jaw. Look, whatever. Sanaa told me you're being dramatic. But we need help. Financially too. Things are tight. Ah. There it was. The real reason. I see, I replied, completely calm. And what exactly do you want? Well, he swallowed. I thought since I'm your only son, maybe you can add me back to your accounts. I mean, eventually everything will go to me anyway. I looked him dead in the eye. No, Mark. It won't. He frowned. What do you mean? I changed my beneficiaries. To who? Why? To someone who respects me. He blinked. You wouldn't do that. I already did that. He stood up abruptly. You're making a huge mistake, Mom. No, I said softly, I made the mistake years ago by letting you treat me like a doormat. I'm only correcting it now. He stormed out of my house. But the storm was only beginning. 2 days later, Sanaa called me. Furious. How dare you cut us off? After everything we've done for you? What have you done for me? I asked politely. She sputtered, we let you be part of our family, let me? I repeated quietly. As if I was some stray you adopted, you're twisting my words. No. I'm finally hearing them clearly. She inhaled shakily, we deserve that inheritance. No, I corrected, you expected it. You relied on it. You felt entitled to it. Do you want to die alone? She shouted. I smiled. No. I want to live with dignity. She hung up. Weeks passed. They tried everything, guilt trips. Angry texts. Fake apologies. Manipulation. Silent treatment. None of it worked. And without my financial help, things got worse for them. Sanaa lost her job. Mark's salary got reduced. Bills piled up. Tension grew. Their perfect little household began cracking like thin ice. One evening, I heard a knock. A soft one. I opened the door to find my granddaughter. Alicia. 4 years old. Teary-eyed. Behind her stood Mark and Sanaa, looking exhausted. Grandma. I'm sorry I hit you, she whispered it, clutching a small drawing in her hand, me and her holding flowers. My heart softened instantly. Children don't become cruel on their own. I knelt down and hugged her. But I stood up and faced the adults with clarity. Mark spoke first. Mom. We're sorry. Truly. We were wrong. We didn't treat you right, Sana nodded, her voice cracking. We took you for granted. I listened. Calm, silent. Observing whether their words came from change or desperation. You hurt me deeply, I said. And I accept your apology. But forgiveness doesn't restore entitlement, Mark swallowed. So. You want reverse the documents? No, Sana whispered, we don't want your money anymore. We just want you back, and for the first time I believed her. Not because she said it. But because she looked like a woman who had finally faced consequences and understood them. I took a breath. I will be part of Alicia's life, I said, but on my terms. With respect. With boundaries. With dignity, they nodded vigorously. And if you ever treat me the way you did that day I looked them both in the eye, I will walk away forever. They understood. My revenge wasn't money. Or legal papers. Or silence. My revenge was teaching them my worth. My revenge was forcing them to look in the mirror. My revenge was reclaiming my dignity. And so today, at 63, I stand stronger than ever. Loved, not because they need me. But because they learned to value me. And they never forgot the day the soft-spoken old woman finally said, enough.